Paris has streets that vanish into thin air, rivers flowing underground, and a tower with a hidden apartment where famous scientists once drank tea. What you think you know about the City of Light is about to be shredded. Today, we're counting down 10 absurd facts about Paris. Facts so wild they sound fake, yet every single one is true. From secret underground rivers to floating bridges, this isn't the Paris you've seen in movies or Instagram photos. By the end, the City of Love will feel like a city of secrets, mysteries, and impossible realities. Streets that disappear. Some streets in Paris exist on official maps, but vanish in reality. Walk down what looks like a narrow alley, and suddenly it dead ends into someone's garden, or a blank wall. Historians say this is because old streets were demolished, redirected, or covered during city expansions over the centuries. In some cases, maps were never updated, leaving ghost streets for the adventurous explorer. Underground River. The Bièvre, beneath Paris, flows the hidden River Bièvre, mostly covered today, but historically it powered mills and small industries. Walk over its path, and you wouldn't even know it's there. Locals say it sometimes rises after heavy rain, causing mysterious water sounds in basements and subway tunnels. Scientists and urban explorers occasionally trace it to discover forgotten canals, adding to Paris's subterranean mystique. Eiffel Tower's secret apartment. At the top of the Eiffel Tower is a tiny apartment built by Gustave Eiffel himself. Fully furnished, it served as a place for him to host guests like Thomas Edison. Today, it's mostly locked, but it has period furniture, vintage telegraphs, and a view that literally looks over the entire city. Imagine sipping tea at sunset while looking down at millions of people unaware of your secret perch above them. Catacombs of the Dead. Underneath the romantic streets lie the Paris catacombs, home to the remains of over 6 million people. Originally limestone quarries, these tunnels were converted into ossuaries in the 18th century, when city cemeteries overflowed. Some corridors are still unexplored, creating a labyrinth beneath the city that stretches for over 200 kilometers. Visiting them is like walking through a silent history of death and mystery, with skulls stacked like shelves, staring back at you. Visual. 5. Ghost metro stations. Paris is full of abandoned metro stations. Phantom stations closed decades ago, but preserved almost perfectly. Trains still speed past them every day, revealing empty platforms frozen in time. Some stations are rumored to have been used for secret wartime operations, while others are the playgrounds of urban explorers who sneak in at night. It's like seeing a city paused decades ago, trapped underground. Visual. 4. Floating bridges. Some bridges over the Seine were engineered to float on pontoons. Why? Paris floods frequently, and designers needed bridges that could rise with the river without collapsing. Step on one today, and it might subtly sway under your weight. Imagine walking over water, centuries of history beneath your feet, while the city literally moves around you. Breaking 3. Streets that sink. Several districts of Paris are slowly sinking due to underground tunnels, old quarries, and shifting aquifers. In places like Montmartre, you can see lampposts tilting slightly or pavement cracks forming. Silent reminders that even centuries-old architecture is vulnerable. Some historians say that without constant maintenance, parts of the city could literally collapse into the ground over decades. 2. Trees older than the Revolution. Scattered throughout Paris are trees planted before 1789, silent witnesses to revolutions, wars, and centuries of human life. One tree in the Jardin des Plantes has stood for over 250 years. Imagine its roots wrapping around centuries-old stones, seeing emperors, revolutionaries, and tourists alike. These living monuments connect the past with the present in ways that feel almost magical. Paris is eating itself. Beneath the romantic streets, Paris is literally devouring itself. Underground rivers, old quarries, and eroding foundations shift the city slowly, silently. Some historians warn that without constant reinforcement, centuries of iconic architecture could sink or tilt over time. In other words, the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame, and Montmartre rest atop a fragile ancient skeleton. The city looks eternal, but underneath, it's precarious, alive, and quietly moving. And that's 10 absurd facts about Paris that sound fake. But every single one is true. The City of Light is far stranger and more mysterious than most people realize. If you thought this was wild, wait until our next countdown. The most haunted cities in Europe, where streets, buildings, and history itself seem to defy reality. Subscribe, because the next journey might literally make your jaw